Hello, I'm Paul Goddard.
I'm Geoff Watts.
And welcome to the Agile Podcast, the show in which Geoff and I discuss what Agile is really all about over a pint or two in the pub.
In each episode, we chat about our experiences as two Agile coaches in today's ever-changing world.
So grab yourself a drink from the bar, pull up a chair and enjoy what I'm sure you will agree is probably the best Agile pub-related podcast in the world.
Here we are.
Hello, Geoff.
Hello, buddy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the George. The George in South Cerney, which used to be, if you're old enough to remember, used to be called the Walter Mitty.
Yes.
Very eclectic, I think was the term.
Yeah. And that's what the locals refer to it as, the Walter Mitty.
Yeah.
It used to be a train going around the pub, apparently. That's what they said.
I presume like a train set type train rather than an actual steam train.
A working kind of functional.
But you never know. Seems to have a bit of history. Very old, very classic old English pub, as you can probably tell from the brickwork behind us. Real fireplace. Very busy for a Thursday evening.
It's got a lovely Thursday evening pub smell to it.
Anyway, cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers, mate. I got a pint of Thatcher's. What do you got?
What's it called? Budding. So
Stroud Brewery, apparently.
Well, we're not in Stroud, are we?
But it's Gloucestershire, I suppose, isn't it? We're not far from Stroud. That kind of area.
Well, I think we're actually in Wiltshire.
Are we?
Well, I saw, as I was driving in, we haven't driven to the pub, by the way. I saw Wiltshire border.
Oh, okay.
That's your county, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, well, it's basically between Wiltshire and Gloucestershire. It's on the cusp,
on the
somewhere.
verge. On the verge.
And so welcome to episode 2.
Episode 2
of the new series of the Agile Pubcast. And got any Landlord Logic for us today, Gav?
Landlord Logic. Yeah. So again, we'll put a little picture of this one. We saw this one in the pub on the way through. I mean, this is an old advert. Guinness For Strength.
Yeah.
Guinness For Strength, with a kind of a very much a man with pulling a horse and literally pulling a horse and a cart.
I like the role reversal there. So rather than the horse pulling it, the horse is actually sitting in the cart.
Yeah.
And the man is pulling it.
And the farmer pulling it.
So I remember, because I quite like a Guinness. You're not a fan of Guinness, are you? But I quite remember the Guinness is good for you adverts. So this is
that must have been many years ago.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't be allowed to do that now, I don't think. But the Guinness For Strength, I think that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, I think, it still is in some regards.
It's got to be technically true.
Athletes, not so much, maybe athletes is the wrong word, but certainly marathon runners, aren't they? They're always told to have a pint of Guinness before a big race.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. For iron and to build up your iron levels.
Okay.
To give you, I think Paula Radcliffe used to swear by it.
Really?
Yeah. For a pint of Guinness before a big race.
We're going to have to...
The night before
I'm going to have to fact check you on that one. But, I mean, I know it's... I've heard the whole iron, and it's definitely got vitamins in it. Some of these are probably true. Some of them are old wives' tales, I'm sure, of it being the equivalent of a roast dinner. But it does have an element of goodness in there, and I'm sure iron is useful in bones and maybe, or is that calcium? I don't know.
Yeah.
But iron's definitely good for you. So it does have a lot of good stuff, but it's obviously got some bad stuff as well. Good or bad? Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit of. There are lots of people out there that would swear that a little bit of alcohol now and again, a little bit of red wine, a pint's never going to do you any harm. In fact, it might do you some good.
Yeah, oxidants. Yes, exactly.
Everything's good in moderation, I suppose they say, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Drink responsibly.
So there's that.
So what's it got to do with Agile then?
All right.
Where's our link here? We're going to some way segue into how strength is part of what we do.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to answer that question, but the first thing that comes to mind for me when I talk about strength is actually I spend a lot of my time talking about how we need to redefine the concept of strength in our more agile organizations. So strength historically strength in leadership has been very much, I know the answer, follow me.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the right answer. I'm going to take all this on my shoulders. I'm going to move us forward. I'm going to pull us forward.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to push you to your potential. And I think now, in a more complex environment that leadership tends to find themselves in, it's not a case of I know the answer. It's a case of I have the strength to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weakness is almost the new strength.
Yeah.
Being able to say I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it might have been Mike Cohn actually made a joke of the 3 hardest words for a male software engineer to say are not "I love you," they're "I don't know."
Yeah, that's very true.
And I think the same goes for traditional leaders.
Yeah.
Saying "I don't know" is a sign of weakness.
It's often, because I remember those questions, I can remember the phone calls back in my BT days when I'd have a phone, I won't say who it was,
Okay.
that would ring me up and give me a one-to-one over the phone.
Okay.
But he would always, you just expected those questions. What are your strengths, Paul? What would you say your strengths are?
Okay.
And then he'd follow it up with what you say your weaknesses are. And the strengths, it's always easier. It always felt easier to name your strengths because you're not, to a certain extent, you're not.
So it reminds me of a joke in an interview. What are your weaknesses? And the candidate says, "Well, I'm really honest." And so I don't think weakness is I don't think honesty is a weakness. To which the candidate says, "I don't care what you think." Sorry, carry on. I interrupted.
No, it's good. So it's often quite a lot easier to name your strength. It wasn't, and there's also a sense of there is a weakness in showing your weaknesses. Do you know what I mean? There's a weakness in that vulnerability that just didn't necessarily. You weren't as open to naming it for fear of lack of career growth.
Yes.
You don't think, "Oh, we're not going to get anywhere unless I show my strengths here."
Yeah. I remember those situations where, in performance appraisal, for example, they're looking for an excuse to put you at the lower end of the bell curve.
Yeah.
And if you can come up with it, it's easier than them coming up with it.
It's
So
less on them.
do I feel safe to be able to? And that, I think, is where leadership really comes into its own in the more agile space, is being actually role modelling that and saying, do you know what? Nothing bad is going to happen if I say I don't know.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot in the past about you go first.
Yeah.
And I think leaders need to do that. And when I say leaders, I don't necessarily mean hierarchical leaders. I mean anyone who's got that sense of moral leadership.
Yeah.
It could be informal leadership. Anyone that we respect and think, okay, well, I've seen them do this and nothing bad happened to them. I trust them.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm willing to put myself out there as well.
I think you're right, and I think these days, even teams now would refer to strength as different things. I think good teams won't talk about necessarily. Strength is staying late and working hard. Now that hero culture that we got used to.
Yeah.
I think much more teams now are recognising the art of helping, assisting each other, supporting, collaborating, their strengths. And I think
true collaboration requires vulnerability.
Yes.
Humility.
And an element of sacrifice.
Yeah. Willingness to let go. I've got fragments of quotes in my head, and I would probably get them mixed up. So what I'll do is, afterwards, I'll do, as well as I'm going to fact check you about Paula Radcliffe drinking Guinness before the marathon.
By all means do. I'll stick by it. I'm confident.
I'm going to fact check me in terms of my quotes. But so I've got in my head Marcus Aurelius.
Yes.
Something around. It takes a lot of a real strong, and he probably used the word man, but a real strong person. It takes strength to recognise the strength in other people.
Yeah.
Rather than just focus on your own. You're not putting yourself down by building somebody else up, is what I took from that.
Yeah. And I think also some strengths aren't necessarily visible strengths. I was going on this. I was got on a tangent here about the difference between physical and mental.
Okay.
So So we might see strengths every day in a team. Different teams, different strengths, I suppose.
Okay.
But we might see what we don't see, and equally, if I flip this around, you don't see vulnerability as easy. Is mental strength and mental vulnerability. When
you say mental strength, that's an interesting one. So I think what comes to mind when you think mental strength?
So I was thinking tenacity and kind of sticking at something.
Right, perseverance,
that
grit,
yes,
that kind of thing. And I think that's quite traditional, isn't it?
Yeah.
You keep going, and I think that is really valuable in certain circumstances. Absolutely, but something that I've been quite interested in recently is some of Annie Duke's work on quitting.
Okay.
So she says you should get better at quitting.
Yeah.
Knowing when actually we should walk away from something and let go of something.
I agree.
And we have that sunk cost fallacy, but also an emotional sunk cost fallacy of I've put in so much of my energy into this, I don't want to walk away from it. So Annie Duke, for anybody who's listening, used to be a professional poker player.
Okay.
And a really good quote of hers that I really, really like is a bad outcome isn't necessarily the result of a bad decision. There's a lot of other factors that go into it, but equally, a good outcome isn't necessarily the result of a good decision. Basically she says, and this comes back to marathons as well, actually, it ties in. She tells the story of a woman who broke her leg 6 miles into the London Marathon, or broke her ankle or something, and carried on because that was what she thought she should do. She'd invested so much time into it. Rather than say, I've trained all this and I've run 6 miles, she was focusing on the 18.2 miles or whatever it is that she hadn't done. So this, I think it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, mental strength, to be able to say, do you know what? I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to cut my losses on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, no, that's enough.
Yeah.
This product is not a winner. And that's no reflection on me as a person. It's no reflection on anybody involved in it. We've learnt this. And rather than just keep going at it, tenacity, resilience, perseverance, grit, I'm going to quit.
Yeah. And I think certainly a more traditional view of that would be seen, I think I look back at my history of personal kind of one-to-ones, assessments, appraisals, what you want to call it, but the ability to stick at something would have been seen more as a strength rather than the ability to quit.
Absolutely.
It would have been much more recognised, much more highlighted. Oh, Paul really stuck at this task and he got it, he stuck through thick and thin.
Yeah.
And that's probably, to an extent, that's conditioned me to I find it very hard to quit things.
Yeah. And that don't get me wrong, listeners. Tenacity, perseverance and stickability is a very, very good thing. And I'm as guilty as the next person of finding excuses and rationale to just give up on something just because it's hard. All right. Shiny thing. Oh, it's a squirrel. But yeah, in certain circumstances, and I hesitate to say in complex domains, we're actually doing the analysis, doing the research, speaking to people, thinking things through. That is a really, really good thing. But in a complex environment, that is more often than not wasted effort.
Yeah.
And actually, we should be looking at objective data, countering our cognitive biases, and making decisions on the real data right now, not what we've put into it already.
Yeah.
Well, that went a different way.
Nice little bit of landlord logic there, like that. It's good.
And I can link. I'm not quite sure how we'll edit this, listeners and viewers, but this is one for Paul. That's a problem for Paul in post-production, not a problem for me now. So another of our features is the pub Noticeboard.
Pub Noticeboard.
And so one of the things I was going to say on the pub Noticeboard actually is a meetup group that I'm going to next week.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to a meetup group at, it's online, but it's the Agile Games meetup.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever I hear Agile Games, I think of you in a waistcoat.
Really?
Do you remember when we went to the Agile Games conference?
Was that Agile Games, was it?
I think so.
I know that we spent far too much on our wardrobe than we did on the actual content.
And balloon animals and popcorn and
we were great. We were great that day.
Anyway, we'll try and dig out a photo of Paul in a waistcoat for you.
It's in the archive somewhere.
Yeah, so next week, February the 8th,
Yeah.
Agile Games Meetup.
Okay.
I was going to go along to Ryan Behrman's session on playing to your strengths.
Okay.
And the reason for this is quite a nice tie-in actually, but just to prove that this isn't like all pre-organised, there were 2 other things that I wanted to put on the notice board.
Okay.
One was from our good friend Tony Richards, who's doing a session at the Kanban Coaching Exchange on February the 9th. Agile at altitude. So not agile at scale, but actually at altitude. Big physical engineering company telling the story there about actual physical manufacturing and agile and so on.
Yep.
And then one of my good friends, Marco Burvell, is doing a session on fostering amazing teams on February the 17th. So bringing something fresh to your team, building up great teamwork, helping your teams grow. So we'll put some details to those things in the show notes.
Yep.
But coming back to the first thing, which is a nice link to what we were talking about, playing to your strengths. So Agile Stationery.
Okay.
You know them?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with Devika.
She, they actually sell some of our stuff, but we're not here to talk about that. But she tweeted a blog post about the 10 nice things to help you give your new year a kickstart.
Okay.
And I noticed it because she tagged me in it because it's got some of our stuff in it. But
yeah,
I had a look through and I saw this StrongSuits cards, and I thought that would be a good thing, and so I bought you a present.
Oh.
So I got a pack of StrongSuits cards for you here.
Lovely.
So we could, I'm not quite sure how this would work in the pub, but we could actually go through the exercise now.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll make some space, that's fine.
All right. So StrongSuits, they're called. StrongSuits, not strength suits. But they are playing to your strengths. So the idea is, there's a lot more to this than I'm probably going to do it justice. So there's jokers and things. But yeah, there are 4 suits, 4 different characteristics and things. The idea is that you pick 5 cards.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll deal you 5. All right.
Yeah.
So for the benefits of the viewers, we'll try and we'll get a camera on this,
so you can see what we're doing.
So you can see what we're doing. But so Paul's got 5 cards in front of him.
Yeah.
That say some strengths. So one of them says, "I get alongside people and build rapport." Is one of them. Mm-hmm. "I enjoy being part of a harmonious team. I'm a good collaborator." Sensitivity. I'm sensitive to how people feel. "I get along with a wide range of people, relationships." Tolerance. "I show that I respect other people's needs and difficulties." Right. So those are your 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
And then there's another one up here that says agreeability, which is "I'm flexible in meeting people halfway."
Okay.
So if you think that is something that you like more than these other 5, you can swap that one in for one of your current 5. But if you don't, then take the next card from the top.
All right, so I'm going to do that. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm taking agreeability, and I'm going to switch it out with relationships.
All right. So then turn the next one over.
So right. So I do the next one, which is diplomacy. "I am careful to say the right things in the right way to the right people." Yeah, I do that. So I can do the same thing, and I can switch out.
If you think that's more you than some of the other ones you've got.
Probably more than sensitive, I suppose, I think.
And then turn the next one over.
Okay, got it. Patience. Oh, I'm very patient. Can I have more than 5?
No, you can only have 5.
Okay. I'll probably say better than rapport, I'd say. So I'm more patient than I am building rapport. Okay. Another one?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Seeing as that I haven't shuffled them very well, viewers. So we'll try a different suit.
Go on then.
Right, so now we've got onto diamonds, which is organisation.
"I work in an organised way to see the job through to completion." No, I don't think I am. No. Can I pick another one?
Yeah. So diamonds relate to standards, whereas you've mostly at the moment you've got just the way
clubs.
that I haven't shuffled very well. You've got clubs. So
I've
clubs
got a
are
spade.
around relationships.
Spade, Geoff.
Spades are around drive, so being determined and assertive.
I have
and so on.
confidence that I can do what is needed. No. No, Geoff. No, definitely not confident.
Okay. So pick another one.
Let's mix them up again. Let's go with something. And what's the one suit we haven't had yet? Hearts.
Hearts, yeah. So hearts is around passion.
"I work at a fast pace and can react to new information quickly." Nope. Don't do that either, Geoff. So again, so do I go through the whole pack, or do
So
I
yeah, the
stop?
idea would be you go through all of this stuff, and the it's not the reverse, is it? It's the inverse. So if you flip that card round 180 degrees,
Yeah.
you see the sort of flip side to it.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can seem impulsive to other people.
Right. Okay.
So that's not you, right?
No.
But if that was your strength, then
Yeah.
the negative of it could be you're seen as impulsive.
Yeah.
So the idea being that you go through this, you figure out, what your strengths are, and the chances are, you would have a hand of cards that was mostly clubs, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're more of a relationships person than
Yeah.
anything else. And there are ways of talking to people who are strong in clubs,
Yeah.
and understanding people who are strong in clubs.
Okay.
And so if you do this as a team, you get to know a little bit about each other's strengths, and you also get to see the flip side of it,
Yeah.
of your strength. So if you overplay that strength,
Yeah.
how you might
I could see. Yeah.
not do great. So yeah, I quite like these.
I like that, yeah.
I quite liked it, and yeah. So I'm going to go along to his session because obviously I've only just scratched the surface of it, and
And he's going to demonstrate these in the session. Do you think?
well, I don't know because I think he's got a couple of other things up his sleeve. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I like. So he says this is built on positive psychology and systemic thinking and so on, and it's not that dissimilar to some of the personality traits, characteristics, models, and things that you've probably done before.
Yeah.
But so I like all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go along and see what he's got to say.
Yeah. So check it out, people. That's Ryan Behrman saying
I
his
think
name
that's how you
right.
pronounce it.
And these cards are available from where, Geoff?
Well, I got them from Agile Stationery because that's
Stationery.
where I saw the blog post.
Excellent.
And yeah, loads of stuff on there. You got stuff on there. I got stuff on there. There's loads of stuff on there.
Very good.
So Agile Stationery is pretty cool. So I'm gonna actually, that's part of my pub notice board, but also linking to the
strength.
the strength,
The Landlord
the
Logic.
Guinness, the Guinness. So that's a nice little link there.
Very good. Pub quiz. Want to do a quiz?
Oh, I've got a quiz for you.
Pub quiz.
So, actually, I'll tell you what. Have a look at this list,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So for our viewers, we're back in the room. So basically, I've found a bunch of quotes from Agile thought leaders. All right. So there is a quote from a number of these people. Right? So we got Ken Schwaber, we got Mike Cohn, Kent Beck, Esther Derby, Jean Baker, Carl Scotland, Lisa Adkins, Henrik Nieberg, Mary Poppin, Dick Martin Fowler, Jeff Sutherland, Roman Pickler, Tobias Mayer, Lisa Crispin, Paul Goddard. Paul Goddard's in there.
I make the list.
Yeah. So there's basically Agile thought leaders, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a quote, and you
Okay.
have to tell me who said it.
Can I pick? And I pick from this list.
Well,
It's one
so-
of those people.
Yeah. So look away, look
Okay.
away,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's all on the same piece of paper.
Okay.
Right. So listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
When we're blind to systemic causes of problems, all the solutions we try will likely make matters worse. Okay, so who?
Can I look back at the list?
Yeah, have a look at the list. Have a look at one of those. It's one of those people that's got a tick on it.
So it's talking about systemic problem. I'd say Jeff Sutherland.
No.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, Esther Derby.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Esther?
very, very much focused on systemic challenges and making sure you know what you're doing before you get stuck in.
Fair play, Esther.
Right.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Look
I
away.
didn't get it. Okay, looking away.
Next quote. I am a member of a community of thinkers. I believe that communities exist as homes for professionals to learn, teach, and reflect on their work. One of their most famous quotes.
Oh, don't say that, because that means I should know it. I would say of all the someone who's mostly focused on community.
Yep.
I'll put all my chips on Jean for that.
Jean Baker.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, yes.
You're right. Yeah. So maybe
Is that from her book?
no. So basically, after a number of, I think the term is flaming wars. Between
okay.
Scrum hates Kanban,
Oh, okay.
hates Scrum, and all that kind of stuff. And thought leaders just basically attacking one another. She said, "We're all in this together. we're all a community of thinkers. Let's respect each other. So before conferences had their codes of conduct or something, she wanted people to sort of sign up to that.
God bless her.
All right, next one. Look away.
Yeah, looking away.
Yeah. This is a funny one. Twice the energy with half the stress. Brackets, bonus weight loss.
So, I was immediately drawn towards Geoff Sutherland there.
Yeah.
But, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
But I thought it might have been someone parodying Geoff.
No.
He said that.
So for his, for those of you who aren't aware, Geoff has a side business in frequency energy
modulation
stuff, where he believes he can solve basically any illness through the right radio frequencies. And one of his blog posts on this website said you can get twice the energy and half the stress and lose weight by getting the right frequency.
Wow.
Yep. So that's Geoff.
Wow.
I know nothing about that, so I can neither confirm nor deny, endorse,
we in no way
denigrate.
Endorse that quote.
All right, next one.
Yeah, I'm looking
so
away.
you're two wins, one loss.
Okay.
All right. Next one. We shouldn't add features until they're needed. Forget just in case. Develop just in time.
Oh, now I say this a lot. I say just in case, just in time, not just in case. So it's got to be a lean thinker. It's got to be lean. I'd go for Mary Poppendick.
Oh, very good.
Oh, see, I know my lean. I know
3
my
out
lean.
of 4.
I know my lean.
Next one.
Yep.
The important thing is not your process, but your process for improving your process.
Process for improving your process. Ooh, I'm between two. It's either Henrik or Ken. I'll go with Ken.
Henrik.
Oh no, you're joking. Oh no.
Henrik Nyberg, yes.
No.
The most important thing is your process for improving your process.
Yeah, now it sounds like him saying it. I can hear him saying it, Geoff.
3 out of 5. That's good, still good.
Oh.
All right, next one. We practice mastering ourselves in the moment so that we can better open ourselves to being a servant leader and to harness our emotions and choose what to do with our reactions.
Servant leader. Oh, servant leader. So
there might be more than one from the same person, by the way. Just saying,
now you're throwing that curveball in there. Now you said that could be Esther, you see.
Exactly.
But is that a double bluff? Because I was thinking Tobias or Ken. Oh, Geoff, you're not making this easy.
No.
On the strength of what you said, I'll go with Esther then.
It's not. It's Lisa Atkins.
Oh, God, that's true. Oh, you
3 out of 6, down to 50%.
You threw a curveball in there.
All right, next one.
Go on.
It doesn't matter how good you are today. If you're not better tomorrow, then you're not agile.
Again, that's the type of thing that someone quite blunt and direct would say. I'll go Ken Schwaber on that.
Mike Cohn.
Oh, see.
Yeah. If you're not better tomorrow, you're not agile. Fully agree with that. Keep improving.
Yeah.
So that's 3 out of 7. Oh, he's on a bad run.
Slipping. I'm having a bad run. A Coventry City style post World Cup run.
All right. I'll give you an easy one.
I'm not clever.
Scrum is Scrum.
Oh, here we go.
If you change anything about Scrum, then it's no longer Scrum.
That's Ken.
That is Ken Schwaber.
I remember him saying that.
4 out of 8.
I knew I'd get
Back
to a
to
Ken.
50%.
I knew I'd get to a Ken eventually.
All right, let's see what we've got
I'll look
next. Doing Scrum is as meaningless and impossible as creating an instance of an abstract class.
Oh, it's techie. It's either Kent. Who are the XP guys that we got? Or okay.
I'm not.
Are they all in that list?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's either.
Don't worry.
I'll go with Kent. It could be Ron though.
It's Tobias.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Tobias.
Doesn't sound like Tobias.
Doing Scrum is as useless and impossible as creating an instance of an abstract class.
Of course, you know all about that, Geoff. Your abstract classes
Nothing
and
about
instances.
them. Nothing about them. All right, here we go.
Technical genius.
So that's 4 out of 9. The yes and protocol gives scope for additional dialogue to improve a process or idea. #Agile, #Scrum.
That must be me.
It is
that
indeed.
Paul Goddard said that?
Yes, many times,
Yes.
I believe.
Nigel
Many,
Baker's
many times.
favourite quote of mine. Yeah.
So 5 out of 10. Back to 50%. All right, there's not many left now. Not
Okay.
many left. Let's see what else we got. No matter what the problem is, it's always a people problem.
thing. Oh, I've heard this 100 times before. No matter what the problem is, it's always a people. Ron.
Nope. Jerry Weinberg.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, one of his most famous quotes. One more.
One more then. Try and redeem myself.
Yeah. See if you can end on 50%. I used to make references that people didn't get because they were too old. Now I make references that people don't get because I am too old. And actually, this person isn't in that list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you should be able to get it.
Because it sounds like something Nigel would say.
It's Nigel Baker. It is Nigel Baker.
When you said that, I thought, I'm sure I've heard Nigel say that before.
Yeah, that is Nigel Baker. So 50%.
That's right.
6 out of 12. Well
That's
played.
good. Thank you,
I
mate.
wonder how
That's
you did at home. Let us know.
Yeah, leave a comment, let us know.
Yes.
See if you can beat my score. You probably will. Champagne moment.
Well, now we're up for our champagne moment of the week.
Yes, tell me all about it, Geoff.
Have you got anything?
No.
Nothing. No champagne for you this week. My favourite thing this week. Came from Simon. How do you say it? Simon Sinek.
Sinek, yeah. I have got a champagne moment. I've thought of it
Okay,
now,
all right.
but it's a quick one and a silly one. Go on.
Simon Sinek. It was a LinkedIn post, but I think it was a snippet from like a TEDx thing or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
It looked like he was in his living room, but he basically said it was a really quick. I think he called it the friends test or the friends question or something. Basically, he said, find someone, a really good friend,
Yeah.
not a lover, not a relative, because they're too close. But find a good friend and say, why are we friends?
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, why are we friends?
Because we share the same interests.
Okay, so that's a good definition of friendship.
Okay.
All right, it's a characteristic of friendship. But why are we friends? Why are you friends with me?
Because we have a lot of shared experiences together, you and I.
So in this video, he's saying you really need to push this person because they're gonna talk about friendship.
Yeah, rather than being a friend with you.
Rather than the one thing
Okay.
that you bring. So well, what? So you say push them on.
Yeah.
Well, what do I bring to this friendship? What do I bring to you?
You are able to talk me through situations in a very calm and very what's the words I'm looking for? We'll have to edit this down.
No, and this is the point.
Is it?
Yeah.
So a calm and understanding and rational tone is you can walk me through my problems.
Okay. So that is sort of the essence of why we're friends.
Yeah.
Right. And he said most people will find it really difficult to put that feeling into words, so they
Okay.
will talk around it. They will
Yeah.
talk about what friendship is. They will talk
In
about
general terms.
Yeah. Rather than, and you push them and you push them and you find that thing. And he says, now if you ask a number of your friends, they will almost always say the same thing, and that
Really?
is your why,
Yeah.
effectively, as a
Yeah.
person. And I think that's an interesting. I mean, is that my strength? I mean, it's kind of linked, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
But that can be, even if you don't realise it is a strength, it's nice to hear, and we've done this in workshops before,
Yeah.
it's nice to hear someone else say something they recognise in you as a strength.
Yeah,
Rather than
definitely.
me asking you, what are your strengths, Geoff? It's nice to hear someone who values a strength that you have, that you might not even be aware of, to actually hear someone else say it.
That's a really good point. And going back to those cards, sometimes one of the things I think I read in the sort of things you can do with them is get other team members to pick out what they think your strengths are and compare and contrast, as well as compare and contrast the diversity within the teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. What I see as my strengths might be very different to what you see as my strengths. And yeah, being able to hear that, being able to know what impact we have is really quite a touching thing.
Yeah.
So that was my champagne moment of the week. What was your champagne moment of the week?
Well, we might have to edit mine, or at least bleep it. It's just a website I saw, and it's I saw it on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I think Tobias actually shared it or reshared it. It's just, and again, we will bleep this.
Okay.
The website is called IHateJira.com. And all it is, it's a website which has, you can click on it, and it's just got lots of different opinions on why Jira is so bad.
Okay.
I can read one or two.
Are they real? Like people submit?
Yeah, people have submitted them.
So if I went to that website, I could submit my reason for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can submit your opinion, or you can.
Did Nigel make it?
I'm not. He hasn't taken credit for it, but neither has he denied. I can give you a couple of examples. Jira is a special kind of hell. It's like every team needs their own embedded Atlassian solutions engineer to get it to a usable state. Not an EM or PM, but a specially dedicated role just to deal with Jira nonsense. Why even bother?
There is a lot of feeling about Jira.
There is, isn't there? I was on a Meetup call this week, and someone said, completely unrelated, Paul, what do you think about Jira? And it's
okay. All right.
It's a topic. I don't suggest to be getting into it here.
No,
but
no.
I just loved the website. I love the simplicity of it. I love the fact it's just a resource, almost somewhere to go to be able to calm yourself and just read. Know that you're not alone. There's other people out there that are experiencing the same kind of hell as you.
That reminds me of something I've said to a lot of people: is in jest, but as with most things in jest, there's more than a seed of truth to it. Which is, if you just want a little bit of entertainment, get into a London taxi and say, "Oh, so cyclists, eh?" And it's like, if you see Nigel, Jira, hey? And then you don't get another word in, you just got a bit of a show.
Yeah, there you go.
So, okay, well, I mean, that's nice. And actually, that could be a contender for your Bard. We could potentially bar Jira
from the
pub. We could say, get out of the pub.
You're barred.
I'll put another contender forward, and we'll see what our listeners think.
Okay.
See who they would bar, whether they would bar Jira or, touchy subject, Capital One.
Oh, okay.
So, and I haven't really dug into this, but I know they laid off a heck of basically everybody that had anything to do with Agile. Laid off.
And it was global as well, wasn't it? It wasn't just in the UK, or
no.
It was, from what I heard.
Yeah, we're done. And I know.
And was it a claim of we've done that stuff, we're going to move on now? Was that the rationale behind it?
So I think the official explanation was we have now incorporated Agile into our ways of working, therefore we don't need dedicated Agile roles. Now, as somebody who actually encourages working towards that, if that has happened, then I drink a toast
Raise
to
your
you,
glass
Capital One.
Yeah.
I remember going to the very first Scrum gathering in Boulder, Colorado, and speaking to somebody from Capital One. In fact, two people, Mark Pashinsky and a lady I can't remember the name of. And I was at BT and they were at Capital One, and we were talking about Agile transformation then.
Yeah.
And they're still going now, as are BT.
Yeah.
But Capital One have effectively claimed victory.
Yes.
So if they have, that is fantastic. Congratulations. If they haven't, and they're claiming victory when they haven't, just as an excuse to get rid of a load of people, shame on you. Now, I don't know the answer to that because I'm not close enough to it, but we will let our listeners decide. So you have the choice, listeners. Who do you want to bar, or what do you want to bar from our pub, Jira or Capital One? We'll put a poll out there on our Twitter.
We can do a Twitter poll,
a Twitter poll, and see what the results are, and we'll come back to the results in the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
So I think that's pretty much it. So we're kind of on to last orders now, aren't we?
Last orders.
Last orders at the bar.
So I've got a couple of quotes.
These deep and meaningful quotes.
Well, one deep and meaningful, and one rather frivolous. Is that
Okay.
the word? So, nothing is as strong as gentleness, and nothing is as gentle as real strength.
Wow.
Now, I believe that was Saint Francis of something or other,
All right.
not of Assisi, but there is another Saint Francis. So again, we'll put the actual quote in the show notes. But yeah, the idea of
Say it again. There's nothing as strong
nothing
as gentleness.
as strong as gentleness, nothing as gentle as real strength.
Yeah.
Quite like that paradox. And the rather frivolous one: he that drinketh strong beer and goes to bed right mellow, lives as he ought to live, and dies a hearty fellow. So have strong beer, be happy, remember to drink and sprint responsibly. Until next time,
Cheers.